This introducing Komala ma'am has been my part. So today I know her personally because we are from the same department. So I'm glad that she is one of the resource person here. To read out her CV, it's huge, but we have made it brief. Without wasting time, Dr. Komala ma'am has been serving as Professor of Human Development and former Chairperson of Department of Studies of Food Science and Nutrition. And also she'll be taking over as Chairman once again. And she has also been serving as Coordinator for University Daycare Center, Manas Gangotri, Mysore. Komala ma'am is a member of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Foundation of the Department of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, New Delhi. She has put in 28 years of teaching and research experience in human development and family studies. Under her guidance, 5 candidates have been awarded PhD degrees, in which 2 candidates have completed postdoctoral research fellowship, and one is also working as current postdoctoral fellow. She has guided more than 85 students for dissertation work. She has published 45 research papers, edited 2 books, authored 16 chapters in edited books, and has participated in many academic events and presented around 150 research papers in conferences, seminars of national and international fame. As one of the authors, she has written the chapters for human development for report of 2014 of Mandya district and human development report of Chamarajanagar district of Karnataka state. She has also written lesson plans, books for certificate course in pre-school education, diploma program in nutrition and health education. I'm glad at this point of time because it is from our university. She has been a resource person earlier for us, and now also she's been working as a resource person for KSOU. She is involved as a co-investigator in research project of MHRD New Delhi under the Institute of Excellence scheme of University of Mysore, as well as an ICMR project. And she has reviewed research papers for the International Journal of Educational Sciences, and she's in the editorial committee of Pratibimba, Multidisciplinary Kannada Research Journal of Indian International Journal of Multidisciplinary Research, Mumbai. Then she has been serving as member of various committees at the University of Mysore, like Food Monitoring Committee, Hostel Grievances Committee, Manasa Exhibition Committee. She has been serving as a chairperson and a member of many BOE, BOS, Faculty of Science Selection Committee and Board of Appointments. As a human developmentalist, she has organized educational awareness programs for parents on child development issues, life skill workshops for students, statistical workshops, exhibition on preschool children education, organized national level seminars. She is also extending counseling and guidance to needy students and parents of children of Mysore University Daycare. She is a life member of various academic associations, including Home Science Association of India, and currently serving as an executive member of Home Science Association of India. And I would like to add, she is the founder of Home Science Association of India, Mysore chapter. So recently we have launched, and we are planning for in a higher way. So under our guidance, I think it will take better colors in the future. So with this introduction, I welcome Komala ma'am to extend her thoughts about sustainable food waste management. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Hemlata, for a nice introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I have shared my PPT. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Sustainable food waste management.
Yeah.
Ma'am,
Yes,
please place it in slideshow mode. Slideshow mode.
Ma'am, first, I think in the PPT itself, you should go to slideshow mode.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
now it's gone.
Is it visible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Good afternoon to everyone. Myself, Professor Komala. Dr. Hemlata has nicely introduced me to all. The first and the foremost thing, I'd like to thank the Academic Staff College Director, the staff of that center, as well as the refresher course coordinator, Dr. Rajkumar, Professor of Botany, for giving me an opportunity to Okay, some of the information, because you people are already into the teaching and the research. So there is no much information. Okay, already everybody are know. So I'm just presenting some of the information with regard to the sustainable food waste management. So everybody are aware of what you mean by food. So it is a nutritious substance, usually which observed and which helps to sustain life in the growth of animals, the plants, everything. So even the major sources of food is animals and the plants for the human beings. So mainly these foods provides the energy and nourishment so that it keeps the humans and animals in a healthy condition. So this is a general introductory thing. And as you all aware that from the cultural background or of whatever the traditional belief or a system we are practicing it, always the food is considered as the sacred one, and it is offered to the deities in a special sacrament. Maybe you people are aware that in many festivals or of while doing the puja, we offer something like fruits or a food, cooked one, like a prasad. Okay. So usually we chant some bhojana mantra. I think everybody are aware of this. Like Annam Brahmam, Raso Vishnu, Pakto Devo Maheshwara, Evam Jnatva Tho, Yogmukte, Anna Dosho Na Lipyati. The meaning of this is we always considered food as Brahma, and whatever the essence in it is refers to Vishnu, and one who consumes or enjoy that, it is referred as Maheshwara himself. And if you know the meaning of Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, then it is possible for the individual, even if any impurities are present, that will not going to be considered as important. So food has been considered sacred in many culture and religious, whatever the culture you want to take, whether it is a Hinduism or of Christianity or Jainism, Buddhism, everywhere you can notice this practice. So usually without being first offered to the Hindus god for a blessing, no meal can be considered as a truly holy thing, especially during the religious festival. To be considered prasadam or blessed, food must be placed before a figure of the Hindu deity before eating. And even in other customary practices where you can notice that, like the way we start eating our food. See, before eating, we always sprinkling the water over a meal. Okay. And also sometimes you can also notice in some cultural oriented thing, they also placing the 5 offering of food on the edge of the table in exchange of protection of the divine forces. See why I am telling? Because earlier days, we used to look at the food from the sacred point of view or of sacred perspective. So even looking at the spiritual significance, like all these practices, whatever I have said, is called as Chitrahuti. And if you have to study something with related to the food culture, all that, from the anthropological perspective, we say that food anthropology is help us in understanding the ethnographical, historical perspective with the contemporary social issues which focuses or discusses the importance of food production and consumption system. And as you all are aware, like earliest humans were the hunter-gatherers who never knew exactly where their next meal might be coming from. And their meals were probably eaten on the run as they stocked enough prey to constitute an actual meal. And even sometimes unlikely that their meals were regular or even eaten daily. So when human becomes sedentary, that is sedentary where the lifestyle has changed, where you can notice the transition from hunting, gathering to the growing their own foods, like where they have started with agricultural things. That has made eating more in a predictable way because of they have started establishing more stable lifestyle. Even sometimes some or few ate mindlessly without thinking the quantity of the food, whatever they are taking. So with the mass movement of the people from land to the cities, these food was eclipsed by the fascination of with various artificial technologically produced form of food. So now no longer was it necessary to hunt or grow food because even with the fingertips, if you order Zomato, Swiggy, and all that, see whatever may be the distance, whether it is a short or a long distances to the your home or nearby market, you can able to get. So this kind of a change in the food intake or of eating pattern has reduced the sacredness of food. Why I'm focusing this, like the value, whatever we have attached, that is going down. So we will look into the definition first with regard to the food waste. See, according to the FAO, that is Food and Agricultural Organization of United Nations, the food waste is defined as the decrease in the quantity or quality of the food resulting from the decision or an action by the retailers or a food service provider or a consumer. I think everybody are aware of the food chain. Okay, foods. So food discarded after its expiry date or due to spoilage, then it can be for the other reasons such as market oversupply or of consumer shopping or of eating habits. Then we say it is the food waste. So food waste usually occurs along with the entire spectrum of production. So what we call it as farm to fork. So here you will going to notice the food supply chain. Okay, from growers where you can notice the farmer or the producers. Then it continues with the process or of packaging thing. Then transport, selling. Then at last comes the consumer. Just a minute. Yes. Okay. So food waste refers to the food that is fit for consumption but consciously discarded at the retail or of consumption phases. Even sometimes we also use the word that is a food loss. So when we say food loss, that occurs before food reaches the consumer. So this is food loss you can notice as a result of some issues which are connected with the production or of shortage or of something to do with the processing or of distribution phases. Okay. So this is the food supply chain where you can notice that the 5 phases, that is again starting from the farm and ending with the consumer. So first 3 phases, that is on farm, package, process, stored, distributed, all these whatever the losses occurs, that we call it as food loss. Whereas when the retailer or a distributor comes and when the consumer perspective comes, then we talk that as a food waste. So as you all aware, the farmer always plant according to his convenience. But sometime what will happen? See, whatever the consumer demand is there, the production of food or of agricultural products, if it is exceeds, then there is a chances of having the food loss. So even products are lost because of some bad weather or because of the infection of pests, pesticides or of something else, pests, infections. Then even the price of the food production is, which is less than the transportation cost or of labor cost. Then also it will be very difficult for a farmer to go for harvesting. In such condition, the farmer will leave the crop unharvested. So even during the pre and post harvest period also, the loss may occur. And if whatever the food product or of food produce doesn't meet with the quality standard of the supermarket, then it is very difficult for a farmer to like going for harvesting. So that is food loss. Then even in the supermarket, you can notice that they will lose billions of money because of unsold perishable goods, which are not good in quality. So it is the biggest challenge for all these facilities, from how they source, produce, and develop these menus, how they manage leftovers. So these are all some of the causes why the food waste is going to be occur. So as I said, it's starting from the farm to the fork. So unharvested crop, spoiled crop, pests, or of disease or of infection, or of some contamination to the food production, again will lead to food waste. So even in the second phase where the processing and distribution takes place, that is spoiled or damaged product, overproduction, trimming, all these things again leads to food waste. So overstocking, expiration, like expiring dates, selective consumers, all these again will lead to the, excuse me, hello, ಹೌದು ನಾನು ಮೀಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಕಾಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Okay, sorry. So even the food services at a household levels also, say sometimes oversight portion is going to be cooked, or without proper planning, the cooking will be done, or spoiled, whatever they are cooked. Then bulk purchases, all these are some of the causative factors for food waste. So several factors, this is according to the research, several factors were identified which contribute to the food wastage in India. So poor storage, inadequate infrastructure, along with the supply chain will lead to the spoilage. Even the lack of awareness among the consumers, mainly with regard to the storage. Then even with regard to the ignorant about the expiring date, not taking care of the best before or within which date they are supposed to use this. Okay, that also will lead to the food wastage. Even market demands for aesthetically perfect produce result in a rejection of imperfect looking fruits and vegetables. As you all aware, Indian food supply chain is very complex in nature and often involving the numerous intermediaries, like where from farmer to the traders to the distributor, then to the retailer. So many complexity issues can lead to the inefficiencies with the food getting lost at various points of time, that is along with the chain, due to lack of proper handling, storage, and the transport facilities. So these can be addressed through improving the supply chain management and even including the cold storage facilities, transportation, infrastructure, packaging. So all these can considered as a protective factor or which significantly helps to reduce food wastage. The next question comes, who are responsible for food waste then? So again, it is anywhere the food is sold or eaten or food is wasted, but consumer will definitely be the big source of this food waste. And this is again proved according to the research. Like 44% of the food waste is at residential level, 33% from restaurants, 11% from grocery, 10% from institutions, maybe schools or thing. Then even 2% of food wastage can be noticed at industrial level. So global food waste is a cross-cutting issue that starts during this agricultural production and it continues all the way to the landfill. This is again according to the global statistics. A fifth of all food is wasted. 5.3 billion tons food available actually for a global consumption. Out of this, 931 million tons food going to be waste. That's somewhere around 17% of the total production is going to be waste. So even they have given the statistics like at household level, 61%. And when in terms of per capita, it is 74. And even for the retailer, we're 13%. And per capita, it is of 15. And food services is 26. Total wastage you can notice with a per capita of 32. If you look at the African countries, they lead the wastage. They've listed the top 5 African countries as well as the other countries, including India. So look at Nigeria has the highest per kg capita per year of wastage. And whereas in India, it is the 50. So 121 kg yearly global per capita food wastage is found. Then annual global food waste, like depending upon the ingredients or of food materials, like 20%, it is mainly due to meat and dairy products, 20 from oil seeds, 30 from cereals, 35 from fish, 40 to 50, it is root crops, fruits and vegetables are responsible for this global food wastage. Then with regard to the India, they have mentioned the food wastage losses ranges from 4.6 to 15.8. Again, they have listed cereal, that is somewhere around 4.65 to 5.99, and pulses 6.39 to 8.49, oil seeds. See, again, whatever the different food groups, but in all the food groups, we can notice the food wastage. This is with regard to the household waste. See, the food available for consumption was 5.3 billion tons. Food wastage, it is again the same. Then the additional information which you can notice from this slide, it is that G7 countries like France, Canada, UK, Germany, Italy, Japan, USA, all these also have. That means the food wastage is commonly noticed in all the countries, whether it is a developed country or a developing country. Okay, even in South Asia, you can notice India is having 50, whereas Afghanistan has the highest food wastage. So this is also again of same thing, but it is 7.4% of entire 9.3 million tons of food wasted in the world. This is according to 2019. So this is with regard to the latest statistic with the food wastage. Like 68.7 million tons of food is wasted annually in Indian homes. In simple word, you can put it as 50 kgs per person. And 1/3 of all food produced in India gets wasted or spoiled before it is even eaten. So United Nations Environment Program Food Wastage Index report, that is UNF, mentioned that 68.7 million tons of food is wasted annually. And according to National Resource Defense Council, NDRC, again, 40% of the food produced goes uneaten, that is in the US countries. And whereas with regard to Asia, approximately 1.34 billion tons of food gets wasted. On the whole, the main contributors being India and China. See, the population is more, even the food production is more, then food wastage is also more among India and China. Then according to Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, 1/3 of all food produced in India gets wasted or spoiled before it is even eaten. So all these statistics clearly indicates that is food wastage is a very serious concern, as it comes to show that the people not only waste the food deliberately, even they are not even aware of it, they are wasting the food. So the awareness need to be created among the people. The next is, if we look at the impact of food loss and food waste, you can ask the question, when food production is more, why to worry about the food waste? No. Food production is more, but the food wastage is also more, and the people who are suffering from hunger or suffering from malnutrition is also more in Indian context. So some of the negative effects of food wastage, that is again according to the research, that is negative effect, the food waste is that food getting thrown out, not used or utilized. And the people go home hungry and go to sleep hungry, while others are wasting the food. That's why we say India is a country with a double burden. Okay, one side we have a undernutrition, as well as the other side overnutrition. Now we have also added with the third domain. Okay, so a lot of money is getting wasted on food people they do not eat. So some of the environmental impact of this food wastage, like because of the food wastage, the greenhouse gas emissions are increasing. And according to the statistics, it is 8% of the global greenhouse gas emission can be noticed, and food loss and food waste are mainly responsible for this. And the other factor is volume of water, whatever is used to produce this loss or of wasted food. again is equivalent to 3 times the volume of this Lake of Geneva. That is according to American study. So nearly 30% of the world's agricultural land is currently occupied to produce food that is ultimately never consumed. So this is a fate. So if food uses and distribution is better managed, 14% of all this greenhouse gas emissions from agriculture could be avoided by 2050. So even you can notice many other impacts because of this food wastage. Fly breeding will be very high. That in turn lead to communicable diseases. Stench, that is the foul smell, okay, that again is leading to environmental pollution. Then scavengers are attracted, scattering this waste, that again they are prone to the various other infections. Even birds are attracted, that is leading to the widespread of waste. Aviation hazard can be noticed. Because all these food waste contains the moisture. So you can even notice the drain, discharge in the drain. All these will lead to the choking of drain and naluhas, that is nala, they call it. Then finally, polluting the river. So you can notice the cascading effects because of this food wastage in it. So some of the consequences of food wastage, like greenhouse gases, wastage of resources, emission of toxic gases, then unnecessary expenditure on the water content, that is fresh water, loss of soil fertility can be noticed. Then with regard to the nutritional laws also, like again, this is one of the most pressing implications because of this food wastage. That is the loss of essential nutrient that could have been utilized to address the India's malnutrition challenges. That's completely goes wasted. As millions of Indians struggle to access adequate nutrition, the wastage of nutrient-rich food exacerbates the problem. It increases the severity of the problem. So fruits, vegetable, dairy products, protein sources are often discarded before reaching the consumer, and that in turn resulting the loss of vitamins, minerals, proteins, which are all very vital or very, very important for health. And malnutrition remains a significant issue even in India, despite of advancement in various sectors. If we look at the Global Hunger Index, India ranks 101 101 position out of 116 countries. That is according to 2021. And still we have gone down according to 2022. Now we are in 107th rank position. So while India's agricultural production has increased significantly over the year, the accomplishment is diminished by the large quantity of food that goes waste. Then even you can notice the impact of this food loss or food wastage on environmental sustainability, where you can notice the food productions, that whatever the resources we are used, maybe water, energy, land, all these are going waste because food is discarded. Then even carbon footprint, which you can notice associated with this producing, transporting, processing. So that also in turn increasing the percentage of wasted food. And that in turn again contributing for greenhouse gas emission. So furthermore, when the food waste ends up in landfills, even it generates methane, that is a potent greenhouse gas that accelerate the climate change. So global warming or of changes with the environment, you can notice. Then comes the management. So when we say food waste management, why we have to think about the management? Because the food insecurities are spreading. So if you look at 100 of millions around the world are suffering from this. So food waste has become a critical issue that is creating low impact, healthy and resilient. It's high impact, unhealthy, resilient. So food waste management is a systematic approach to handling or of redirecting the food or of agricultural product. So reusing it or diverting it for some way so that it can benefit the animals or the industries and other things. So through this food waste management, it is possible to reduce the negative consequences of food losses or food waste. So reducing this food waste provides multifaceted gains for people and planet and prosperity. So if we address all these food wastage issues, that helps to improve food security and also global problem, climate change, biodiversity loss, pollution, all these can be addressed. All these in turn reduces the burden on waste management system. So food waste management relates with a stage of prevention, recovery, recycling, and disposal. So usually we follow certain steps like food waste tracking will be done so that we try to prevent the food wastage. Nowadays, everywhere you can notice the food banks, like organizations which collects the food and distribute to the people who are in need. Even these food wastage can be processed further and it can be used as animal feed. So even creating the renewable energy through anaerobic digestion can also be addressed. Composting, again, increases your agricultural production. Landfills are the last option. So always we say that better not to go for this because it will affect the environment or brings the climate change. Some of the benefits of preventing this wastage of food, like environmental benefit, where it helps us in adapting to the sustainable production and consumption approach. So throughout the global food supply chain. So once we start producing more and reducing the wastage less, then it is possible for us to have a financial benefit. So reduction with regard to the financial expenditures can also is one of the big investment in the GDP, increasing of GDP. Then with regard to the food security benefits, like reduction of food waste will potentially feed globally everyone who are especially suffering from malnutrition or who are belong to the poverty section. Then rescued food is directed with the emergency food provider, working with the mainly with the poor community to eliminate the hunger in everyone. That can also be addressed by addressing or preventing the wastage of food. Even according to the research, the link between the food industry and sustainable development goals was established. See, United Nations adopted the Sustainable Development Goal in the year 2015, and their aim was to end the poverty and to achieve the sustainability by 2030. So to accomplish these goals, that are sustainable development goals, over the 15 years target, nearly 17 sustainable development goals consisting 169 target were designed, and it is monitored continuously using the various indicator, and food wastage is one such indicator that indicates the sustainable food wastage management. So SDGs ranges from elimination of poverty, that is SDG 1, to climate action, that is mentioned in SDG 13, and global cooperation, that is SDG 17, and even it encompasses many facets which are related with the food. So education to the industrial action. So contribution of food industries to the SDGs has been a subject of particular interest because onset of the target depends on the food production. See how the food production is that closely associated with achievement of or of attainment of these SDGs. So these are all the 17 goals of SDGs. So with related to the food production, this SDGs 2, where it focuses on no hunger, SDG 3, which focuses on good health, 6 on clean water and sanitation, SDG 8 focuses on economic growth, SDG 10 responsible production, 14 that is marine life, that is life below water, 15 life on land, and 70 it is refers to the partnership. So food production can also be more loosely associated with other remaining SDG goals. But food industry is one of the main things which are contributing to or influencing all these sustainable developmental goals. See, UN Sustainable Developmental Goals aim to halve food waste by 2030. And this UNEP published, that is in March 2021, with regard to the Food Waste Index report of 2021. According to this, like they have come out with some methodologies which can help in measuring the food wastage. And also they try to reporting the food waste under this SDG target of 12.3. So food waste index is the first of its kind that highlighted the food waste scale, and it also indicates the global food waste. And this is global food waste is more than twice the size of previous estimation. So right hand still, it is the scale of global food wastage has been given, and you can notice that China assumed the first place, followed by India. So United Nations Environmental Program of Food Wastage Index report clearly states that 931 million tons of food are wasted globally each year, and 17% of global food production that is simply thrown away, not utilized. So according to the report, 1 billion tons of food is wasted annually, and food waste generates 8 to 10% of global greenhouse gas emission, that in turn affecting biodiversity, land, water resources, and also it is putting a burden, costing the government, even the companies, families. So according to one such study, that is even trillion US dollars are put to address all these issues. Food waste index encourages the countries to use its methodology to measure the food waste at a household level, even at food services and retail. So all these will guide the national food waste prevention strategy, and also to keep a track with regard to the program of achieving this SDG 2030. So even at a consumer and household level, this FAO suggests that range of ways to waste less food, like following some healthy diet, buying only whatever is needed, and also storing the food ingredients in a wiser manner is required. So whenever we go for addressing this food wastage management, the food recovery hierarchy comes in the pitch. See, food recovery hierarchy explains the most preferred method to prevent to the least preferred method to prevent food wastage. So according to this food recovery hierarchy, the 5 layers are there. The most preferred is to reduce, followed by reuse, recycle, recover, and dispose. What to reduce? See, whatever the sources you are using it, reduce the volume of food. Okay. So don't unnecessarily waste that. And even try to reuse that sources of food. Then, like for example, if you have a dairy products, okay, so milk, if you have extra milk, so convert that into yogurt, okay, so that way you can process it. And before it loses its what to say, freshness, especially with the fruits or vegetable, use it in preparation of gels, okay, or juices you can make it. So feed hungry people. So if you have still extra foods, donate that. See, nowadays you can notice the food banks. Many food banks are coming up. They are trying to bridge between the people who have extra fruits and who are in crave of shortage of food. Even many soup kitchens, shelter homes, all those are available. So you can feed those hungry people. Even there are extra foods, still you want to use that, feed animals. So divert the food scraps to animal feed. Then even at industrial uses, you can provide the waste oils so that that can be utilized in generating the energy. Then composting, as you all aware, like it create a nutrient-rich soil amendment that in turn increases the agricultural production. So landfill, that is a last resort to the disposal. So even if you're going to burn the wastages, the ashes can be used in the agricultural sector. So some of the food wastage management with regard to different level, like in kitchen or in the restaurant, all that I've just listed here. So when it comes to reducing the food waste in kitchen, management plays a very, very important role because it establishing a culture of waste prevention. So 6 ways we can able to deal with the food waste, which are prioritized by the food recovery hierarchy. So source reduction, minimizing the amount of food buying or of reducing the number of items on a menu. So instead of preparing 4 or 5 menus, go for 2 or 3, like that. So feeding hungry people, helping the community by donating the food to the food banks, all that. Then feeding the animals, again, industrial uses, like for example, wasted oils can be rendered and turned into sustainable fuel sources. And even the food scraps can be anaerobically digested, and that can also helps to create energy. So purposing the food waste as a compost with the local crop producer in the locality or a community is advisable. Then with regard to the restaurant, along with whatever is mentioned so far, even it is necessary to conduct a good waste auditing, especially in the business sector. So while doing the food waste auditing, point out during the day which is particularly high in waste produce. So try to identify those waste producers. That's why they say that try to put these following questions, try to get an answer. What are the top 3 food producers items being thrown away throughout the day in the restaurants or in the hotels? And what is the weight and volume? So you can identify the weightage or value of that item. And even if the worker or a kitchen team wasted produce to the same level every day, then you have to figure out the values, the weightage, everything, and you have to calculate that for the year of thing. Then you should inform these kitchen team how much of loss is happening. It's not only in terms of ingredient, even in terms of financial. So try to ensure the kitchen team can get back to the cooking while having an insight needed to reduce the food waste and kitchen cost. And legal implication is also necessary nowadays, especially in the business sector, to manage the food waste. And this is with regard to the Western country, that is in France. Now they have considered it is illegal to throw away the food, especially in supermarket areas or restaurant areas. So they will put the fine that can be up to euro of 75,000 or 2 years of imprisonment. At least that kind of legal implications reduces the food wastage effectively. Then while buying the food ingredients, look at the shelf life of fruits and vegetables, because that is very, very important. And that in turn helps us in having a proper planning, reducing the cost, all that. Then reducing the number of dairy products purchased, like milk and yogurt, all that. So that has a high financial and environmental impact. So again, according to the research, some of the food waste management in India, like the research studies have clearly identified it that food waste management is becoming a critical problem because due to continuous increase in the Indian population is increasing, then food wastage is also increasing, food production is also increasing, but there is no proper management of balancing all these things. So most of the food is wasted, especially nowadays. Like everybody are going for the high cost or of what to say that wedding or of in the canteen, hotel, any social family function. Food wastage is a terrible issue, very, very crucial kind of a thing. And so food waste management in India is very, very essential. Even you can see like your street, garbage bins, landfills are spoiling the environment everywhere. See, if any empty site is there, you can notice that will become a landfills with all these food wastage and even other solid waste. So common and handiest way to scale back or manage the waste matter level, this especially in a business and community, like going for recycle, by composite, turn the wasted food into animal feed, use the waste food to provide a product, and source of reduction and food donations. So repeatedly the same thing has come, so I'm not explaining all those things. So this is a diagram which indicates all that different things which helps us in having effective food waste management. So always try to read the food labels carefully, focus on how long that product will stay fresh, then limiting the purchase of fresh products, only whatever is necessary you have to, eating and reusing leftovers, then asking for doji bag, that is where restaurant or of during the catering services, so you can carry and you can give it to the people. Then being aware of the differences between best before and use by the date, offering the food that was left out to your friends or of your guests or to the needy people, and being informed to the local food waste reduction program in your locality, then cooking the right quantities of food, and being careful about the special offers and large packages, and planning the shopping, preparing, storing the food products properly. CHUGG is a food waste treatment system that try to break down the organic waste in an enclosed chamber. So it is a compact anaerobic digester developed by AVRIs. It is a Chennai-based startup company, and they are taking care of treating the food waste at source itself. Then in Mysore, the Jeevan Dharan Trust in Vidyaranyapuram, Mysore, is functioning as a food bank. See, if any celebration will be there in the family or of after the marriage, if food is left out over in that event, then you can give a call to these people. They will come with all utensils. They will collect the food and they will going to distribute to the needy. So that's about my presentation. I'd like to end up my presentation with a quote. Cutting food waste is a delicious way of saving money, helping to feed the world and protect the planet Earth. Let's pledge to stop food waste, at least at a personal level, then at a family level. Then definitely we can stop the food wastage at community. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hello, good afternoon.
I have a simple question, ma'am, from your presentation.
Yeah,
You have discussed about a very relevant topic of the today's world, that is wastage of food. We have all of us are doing in our homes or in our institutions also. In one of your slide that about the consequences of food wastage, I have seen that is that reduces the soil fertility. Will you please clarify how the wasted food when we throw into the soil, whether it reduces the soil fertility? What do you mean by that?
Yeah, sure. See, we are not segregating the food waste, first thing. Okay. We are mixing everything. Okay.
Okay.
See, whatever the food wastes are there, whatever the waste is in the at household level or in the business institutions or of catering unit or of everything, we are just dumping together.
Yes.
Okay. And
Yes.
all these are dumped in one of the landfills. Okay.
Okay.
There, they're not going to segregate or they're not going to separate all these things. They will just leave it there only. Okay. Then,
Okay.
whatever the what to say moisture content is there, or the chemicals, whatever is present in that wastage. Okay. Everything is going to be mixed. So, after some days, this will releases the toxic chemicals. Okay, that is anaerobic things takes place where this green house gas emission is going to be taking place. See, that can be converted and utilized for the energy purpose, but in an open landfills, we will just leave it like that. So what happens? Like everybody will go near to that. The infection spreads. Okay. The microbial growth, fungus, everything will be there together. So again, that is affecting the soil fertility.
Okay, ma'am. Okay,
Hello.
okay. Okay.
Madam,
Yes.
I have one question, madam.
Yes, please.
Government actually is supplying free food, free ration, that is Annabhagya.
Yeah.
Annabhagya, yes, madam. Actually, not only the poor, needy people are taking the ration, that is free supply of the rice,
Yeah.
but also other non-needy peoples. I think
Ah.
means what? Yes, actually, do you consider that it may comes under the food waste?
No, Anna Bhagya, it is a scheme where they are going to deliver the ration. Okay. But the consumer, how they are making use of that we have to look into. See, many people who are below poverty line, they are consuming it. They are not wasting. See, if you look at the food wastage index and all that, it is found to be higher among the high class, upper income group, compared to rural or of the people belong to the poverty, below poverty.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes,
Ma'am, this is Navya from Davangere University.
yes. Please tell me.
Ma'am, my question is that in some conditions, because of the very low price in the market value of some of the agricultural produce, particularly the vegetables,
Yeah.
the farmers will go to the roads or the agricultural field itself. So, apart from the cold storage, how best those agricultural produce can be managed?
Agricultural products to be managed. See, the
Yes.
first thing is, as in one of the research, it is mentioned that the production is more. See, if tomato has a high value, then all the farmer are going to grow only tomato only, or they will grow only onion. Just they think they will going to get more money by selling that. But when the production is too much, definitely the cost of that will come down. Okay. See, that is one of the things. See, they have to have a proper planning before going for the seeding. Like that means going for agriculture, what crop they have to go for. But that they are not looking at. Okay. So that is where the
No,
farmer
ma'am.
need education. First thing is, okay. Then after the production, like agricultural products, they don't have a well facilities of storage that need to be addressed. See, in many food storage institutions, you can notice that cold storage facility will be there, but many won't work properly at all. Okay, so there, that is another thing which is also affecting the shelf life of those products, that is vegetables or fruits. So we are, first thing is we need to take care of the these facilities which can extend the shelf life of these vegetables and the fruits.
Okay, thank you.
If tomatoes things are there, we can prepare out of it purees and other things. They can be managed, and even fruits. Some fruits we can prepare the jams, jellies, etc. You have mentioned already in some slides. That can also be done.
See, at a household level, you can do it. Otherwise, you have to give it to the industries, food industries.
Yeah, that's true.
So at a larger scale, they will take care of it.
Yeah.
But once I grow tomato means I wanted to earn money out of it. See, always we look that in those perspectives.
Hello, madam.
Hello.
Myself is Dr. Venkatesh, Davangere University.
Yes, please, sir.
Yeah, ma'am. I have observed in Kerala and other state. So there, what they will do instead of waste after household wastes has been kept it in one separate, and then they put it in one waste dump page that is used for the production of some of the biogas and other for useful bioresources.